kept the light on in the hallway long after you were gone. Left the furniture unmoved, like the story still went on. Your coffee cup stayed waiting on the shelf you always used, as if time would feel embarrassed if it admitted that we'd bruised. I swore I wasn't grieving, just protecting what I chose. But you were the door I never closed, the chapter left unwritten, the end I never spoke. I held the future hostage by the weight of what I hoped. You were the door I never closed, even when you never knocked again. I built the days around the maybe, and the nights around the then. All the things we almost started stayed rehearsed without an end. My voice kept wanting answers, but my heart refused to ask. I kept living in the doorway between memory and past. I said I'd move on someday, but someday never knows. 'Cause you were the door I never closed, the letter never opened, the truth that never froze. I made excuses for the silence, as if love could decompose. You were the door I never closed, though you never tried to come back in. Maybe closure isn't final, maybe endings aren't aligned, maybe time won't do the healing till the heart decides it's time. And I don't blame you for not staying, for not asking me to change. I just held on to the threshold till the waiting felt like chains. But you were the door I never closed, till the quiet made it clear I can't build my life around what refuses to appear. So I turn the handle slowly, let the past lose its repose. You were the door I never closed, now it's finally letting go. And some love only ends when we choose to let it close. You traced a future on my skin, like ink that wouldn't dry. Said time would teach us everything. You never said how long to try. The questions pile like winter snow, but melted in your hands. You just smiled and closed the distance, as if wanting made the plans. I asked you where we're going, you just said we'll make it through. But you gave me a promise without answers, a vow without the why. You held me like a certainty while keeping every why. And when tonight I built a life on maybes, on faith you never proved, a promise without answers is a promise that can't move. what you didn't say. Your silence sounded hopeful, but it never gave a day. I waited for the moment when the meaning would unfold, but the story stayed unwritten while the chapters grew too old. I asked you what we're chasing, you just whispered something true, but you gave me a promise without answers, a vow without the why. You held me like a certainty while keeping every why. And when denied, I built a life on maybes, on faith you never proved. A promise without answers is a promise that can move. Maybe hope can't hold a structure, maybe dreams can't hold the weight. If we're building without questions, we're just trusting to the fate. And I wanted more than someday, more than waiting we will know. But your reasons stayed unspoken, so I finally had to go. You gave me a promise without answers, but I needed more than trust. Love can't live inside a riddle or an oath built into dust. Now I'm learning how to live without the future that we drew. A promise without answers can't survive without the truth. Some promises are broken long before they're ever used. We walked through streets that smelled of summer. The air was thick with things unsaid. The sunlight painted golden edges on the promises we never kept. I held your hand a little tighter, as if it could make time slow. But the clouds were gathering slowly, and we didn't yet know. Some moments feel eternal till the winds begin to shift. Before the season changed, I wanted to tell you everything, every almost and every maybe, every song we didn't sing. I wanted to hold the sunlight before the season changed, before the season changed, before the world rearranged, before we walked apart and the silence claimed your heart. Before the season changed, I wanted to tell you everything, every almost and every maybe, every song we didn't sing. I wanted to hold the sunlight before the skies turned gray, before the season changed and carried you away, before the season changed. I held you in my memory. I counted all the seconds while you were counting stars. Tried to measure every heartbeat, tried to mend the unseen scars. I thought that love was ticking like the hands upon a clock, but every pulse we carried moved in ways we couldn't dock. Some moments fall in rhythm, some drift beyond the line. 'Cause hearts don't keep time, they wander where they want. They stumble, they falter, they break when they confront. Every dream we try to hold, every promise we align, it's a truth I had to learn. Hearts don't keep time. I trace the edges of your absence like a compass without north. Every almost and every maybe, every step I held too forth. I tried to set the pace of loving like a metronome would care, but some love has its own tempo. Some hearts don't meet somewhere. Some beats are loud, some hidden, some fade before they shine. 'Cause hearts don't keep time, they wander where they want. They stumble, they falter, they break when they confront. Every dream we try to hold, every promise we align, it's a truth I had to learn. Hearts don't keep time. Maybe love can't live on schedule, maybe longing has no plan. Maybe the rhythm that we follow is just where we understand. And now I'll hold the fragments gently of the pieces left behind, even if the clock reminds me. Hearts don't keep time. Hearts don't keep time, they twist and bend and roll. Every beat that we surrendered, every place that felt like home. 'Cause hearts don't keep time, they wander where they want. They stumble, they falter, they break when they confront. Every dream we try to hold, every promise we Hearts don't keep time, but they leave traces. I wandered through the empty rooms where your laughter used to live. Every corner held a question, every wall had one more rift. I tried to follow constellations to a place I couldn't see, and the compass in my chest had no directions for you or me. Some paths are made by walking, some roads we can't foresee. I had no map for this, no signs to show the way, no lines to guide my stumbling steps, no stars to make me stay. I held on to what I thought I knew, but the ground kept giving way. Trace the echoes of our mornings through the streets that knew our names. Every almost and every maybe felt like fire I couldn't tame. I tried to read the footprints that your heart had left behind, but the world refused to answer, and I got lost inside my mind. Some love has no instructions, some hearts leave you unprepared. I had no map for this, no signs to show the way, no lines to guide my stumbling steps, no stars to make me stay. I held on to what I thought I knew, but the ground kept giving way. Just the hope of finding something I could barely understand. I had no map for this, no signs to show the way, no lines to guide my stumbling steps, no stars to make me stay. I held on to what I thought I knew, but the ground kept giving way. But I'm still walking. You were sunlight in a hallway, I was hiding from the day. You were laughter at a distance, I was learning not to say. All the feelings in my rib cage that kept pushing to be heard, But every time I tried to speak, my breath forgot the words. So I kept you in the quiet, where no one ever looks. I loved you in secret, like a letter never sent, like a promise in a whisper, like a truth that never bent. Held you in the spaces no one ever thought to seek it. Oh, I loved you in the silence, I loved you in the secret. You were plans without a timeline, I was dreams without a name. You were moments lit like matches, I was terrified of flame. I rehearsed 1,000 futures that we never lived a day. And you never knew the weight of all the things I didn't say. There's a world between the wanting and the courage to be seen. I loved you in secret, like a chapter never read, like the truth beneath the covers, like a prayer inside my head. Tucked you in the corners where my heart tried to keep it. Oh, I loved you in the quiet, I loved you in secret. Maybe love that's left unspoken keeps its color for a while, and the memory stays intact if it never leaves denial. But I wonder what would happen if I let the moment speak. If I named the thing I carried, would it crumble or complete? I loved you in secret, but the silence had its cost. You can't hold a home inside you without knowing what you lost. Some stories need the daylight just to know who can believe it. Oh, I loved you in the shadows, I loved you in secret. And sometimes the ones we never say are the ones we feel the deepest. I watched the sunrise without you while your dreams were far away. The words I meant to say got tangled in the night that wouldn't stay. I held on to all the yesterdays that slipped between our hands, but the future moved without me to a place I couldn't stand. Some love arrives too slowly, some hearts just drift apart. I miss your tomorrow while I was holding yesterday. I miss the steps you took while I was learning how to stay. Every promise that I whispered fell behind the closing door. I missed your tomorrow. trace the lines of empty mornings where your laughter used to bloom. The calendar kept turning pages while I lived inside a room. I tried to catch the fleeting moments, but the clock was never kind. And the life I thought we'd build together left me only with my mind. Some chances come too late, some hearts move faster than our hands. I missed your tomorrow while I was holding yesterday. I missed the steps you took while I was learning how to stay. Every promise that I whispered fell behind the closing door. I missed your tomorrow, and I can't hold it anymore. Maybe time won't wait for wishing, maybe love can't rewrite fate, but I'll keep the echoes of you in the corners of my days. Every what if and maybe, every almost I rehearsed. I missed your tomorrow, and I feel the universe. I missed your tomorrow while the world kept moving on. Every step you walked ahead of me, every light I couldn't own. I missed your tomorrow while I was holding yesterday. I missed the steps you took while I was learning how to stay. Every promise that I whispered fell behind the closing door. I missed your tomorrow, and I can't hold it anymore. I missed your tomorrow, but I'll remember today. I watch the words fall like water from your lips into the air. Every sentence held a question, every glance a quiet dare. I tried to follow every meaning, every shadow, every sign, but the story kept unraveling before it reached the line. Some hearts are locked in riddles, some truths refuse to bend. I tried to understand every silence, every fear, every step you took away, every time you were near. I reached for explanations that you never meant to give. I tried to understand, and still I couldn't live. I trace the corners of your sadness, every quiet empty space. to hold your darkness, but it moved faster than my pace. The moments we could share together were always short and small, and the harder I tried to catch you, the further I would fall. Some hearts are just illusions. Some love is out of reach. I tried to understand every silence, every fear, every step you took away, every time you weren't near. I reached for explanations that you never meant to give. I tried to understand, and still I couldn't live. Maybe some things are meant for knowing. Maybe some pain can't be traced. Maybe love is just a puzzle that we try but can't embrace. But I held the pieces gently, even if they cut my hands. And I learned the hardest lesson. I tried but couldn't understand. I tried to understand every word you never spoke, every almost we held lightly, every bridge I tried to provoke. I tried to understand every silence, every fear, every step you took away, every time you were near. I tried to understand, and the truth stayed out of reach. The house was holding shadows, and the clocks forgot to speak. The night was heavy-limbed and patient as the hours stretched thin and weak. I watched the sky turn silver while the world slipped out of view. Every part of me was listening for a sound that led to you. Some hopes were made of whispers, some prayers refused to fade. So I waited in the quiet, where the silence knew your name, where the echoes of our almost still pretended they remained. I kept the door unlocked for you, though I knew you wouldn't come. Still I waited in the quiet, till the quiet left me numb. Our weight played every moment like a film with too much blur, trying hard to find the meaning in the things we couldn't stir. Your laughter lingered lightly in the corners of the room, but the truth beneath the echoes was already edged with gloom. Some endings don't announce themselves, some goodbyes don't Every heartbeat was afraid. So I waited in the quiet, where the silence knew your name, where the echoes of our almost still pretended they remained. I kept the door unlocked for you. Oh, I knew you wouldn't come. Still I waited in the quiet, till the quiet left me numb. Waited in the quiet, long after you were gone. We built a life on almost and promises on loan, traded comfort for the future, thinking someday would atone. We were living off the interest of a dream that never grew, and I kept paying with my patience for the plans held up by you. But every debt comes due, even love that's made of hope. There was nothing left to borrow, no more time to steal from fate, no more faith to patch the pieces, no more someday we could wait. We used up all the maybes till they couldn't sound sincere. There was nothing left to borrow when tomorrow never near. You said love is built in stages, but you never drew the map. And I counted every silence as a step you might come back. But the future stayed unfinished, with the outline still in chalk. And the path we never settled became miles we didn't walk. And you can't keep something going on what's promised, not what's done. There was nothing left to borrow, no more years to shift or bend, no more later to postpone with, no more trust to re-extend. We ran out of second chances, ran out of reasons to pretend. There was nothing left to borrow when the hope could not ascend. Maybe love needs more than credit, needs more offerings than need. Maybe wanting isn't payment, maybe wishing isn't seed. And I tried to make a garden from the scraps of what you gave, but a future won't keep breathing if we never let it save. There was nothing left to borrow, so we let the story close. You can't build a life on maybe, you can't water what won't grow. We spent everything we didn't have on a dream that wouldn't know. There was nothing left to borrow, so it finally had to go. Some endings don't feel final till the saving runs out slow.